Australians and New Zealanders have traditionally gathered together on this day at this time each year to remember the sacrifices made by the men of Australia and New Zealand Army Corps, Anzac, as they came ashore on the beaches of Gallipoli Peninsula. They went with song to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They fought to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe.
How satisfying is your role here?
Very satisfying. My husband's an Afghan vet, so this feels like I can help give back to the community that he is a part of and support our veterans.
I was in Afghanistan, Dad was in Vietnam.
Okay. And
we both served in the same subunit.
Oh, really? Okay.
That I served in.
Yeah.
We served in the same unit in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And 40 years apart, almost to the day that I went to Vietnam, he went to Afghanistan.
That's the same sort of 30-man group, 2 troop in 1 field squadron.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough to be allocated to that when I went up to.
And even my service, a lot of things that I can talk about that happened overseas. I can talk to Jason, but I wouldn't talk to my other son and my wife about those things.
Okay, yeah.
He's got an understanding of what we did, because the role that Jason had in Afghanistan is no different than the role I had in Vietnam.
I find here, even belonging to the RSL, we can talk about it amongst ourselves. Things that we probably wouldn't talk to our wife or our daughter or our son or anything like that with. We were there.
There are 2 major reasons our Anzac Day commemoration has grown. One is because I suppose COVID had a lot to do with it. People came along, or they stood in their driveways, and when that was all cleared, they came here. And we have 2 services on Anzac Day. The dawn service currently attracts more than 2,000 members of our community, and the community service, which is conducted later in the morning, sometimes exceeds 5,000. The second reason for the growth of popularity of Anzac Day services has a lot to do with our embracing of multiculturalism within the community. So we get people from all different cultures, in particular Australians of Chinese heritage and Australians of Indian heritage, on whose behalf we have installed major memorials within our memorial garden.
There is over 200 Chinese Australians arrive at Gallipoli, and they are on the front line, and a lot of them, people like Billy Singh, Khaled Shane, they are involved with what we call in the First World War. That's why we have the memorial to honor their contribution in supreme sacrifice for our country.
India in the First World War, because British India being as an allied nation of the British Empire, so they sent 500,000 soldiers to fight under the British command, and there are people who fought on the Gallipoli front as well.
Well, every year growing up, I'd always come along to the dawn service and the other services because Anzac Day is just so important. Both of my great-grandparents fought, so that's why it's really important for me to come together, remember the courage and the bravery and the mateship and what they were fighting for freedom, and how important that is to never forget.
It's always very emotional when you hear the last post. How is it for you?
I think it's really moving. I know it's moving for the audience, but I think for me it's just such an honour to play it and really pay tribute to all the soldiers that fought for Australia.
To participate everyone together, that means we share each other. We have this, what we call the mateship, and we have the sacrifice that they have done to our country. We can come together to honour these people.
A sense of pride for my family and for my husband for his service, and a sense of pride in our veterans, and a sense of pride in our community for supporting and embracing our veterans on the day.
The RSL do a really great job of emphasising the importance of Anzac Day and how important it is to share and pass down all this knowledge, and I think young people have taken to that really easily, me in particular, where I really value Anzac Day and all that it gives our nation.
My grandfather served in the First War, my father in the Second War, and I served in Vietnam. And so there's a family connection.
How does it feel remembering together?
I think that's important, Peter. Many of the people who do come to join us on those occasions have not served in the Defence Force, have not served overseas. But if they can listen to the stories that are told by veterans of all ages, then they can perhaps get a better perspective on it and understand more readily what it's all about.
So Anzac Day is, I think there is a great misconception about the people about the Anzac Day that we are celebrating wars, but actually it's not. Anzac Day is remembering the people who have done the ultimate sacrifice for us to live in peace and enjoy the freedom that we have.
We need to dare, really dare to believe in a new humanity, a better humanity, a more light-filled humanity where we can stand together united as brothers and sisters under the one flag, but also as one people in the world. And that's the only way we'll have peace. And Anzac Day and every commemoration we have, for me, is not a celebration. As I said, it's a line in the sand where we remember and we do our best to move forward in a better way.
One of those things that I grow 12 inches when I stand next to him. That's why I'm nearly as tall as him now, otherwise I'm up to his shoulders.
Yeah, no, but, you've actually grown through this interview.
I think he's shrunk 12 inches over the years.